she was a realtor, and she would get calls at just the craziest times. So I try not to do that to people. I don't want to blow their phone up at hours where I shouldn't be. So yeah, I'm just giving you a call back. Thanks for returning my call.
Not a problem. Yeah, no, I appreciate you reaching out. And so Mike was telling me that I guess your child got into Kate.
My daughter, yeah,
Your daughter.
She's about to turn 5.
Awesome.
In a couple weeks, and she'll start kindergarten. Hopefully, hopefully she'll start kindergarten at this next cycle. So yeah, we got in. We were very lucky.
Yeah.
What I've been able to understand about it, and then that means I have a 3-year-old boy as well. That means he'll be able to get in. So because of that, honestly, that's ultimately what helped us make the decision that we want to stay in this area, is because we really like Cape.
Right.
It seems like it's just the right school. I don't know what to do about high school yet, but
right.
But for K through 8 anyway, I think this is just a great place to be.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% there. It's my wife, she has her master's in teaching. She taught in the Oxnard High School District, and or Oxnard Union, whatever the district is out there. But she knew a lot of the teachers, knew a lot of the Camarillo teachers, and her mentor, as she was going through her teaching credential, I guess her child got into Kate, got a call. They missed it within the 24-hour period of returning the call, and they went on to the next person, and she was just broke down crying. I still remember that happening about 5 years ago, I want to say, and 5 to 7 years ago. And I just remember the impact, and Danielle was just like, what's up? Like, what's the big deal? Aren't there other good schools? She was like, no, that is the school, and we were lucky that our daughter got into that school. She's done kindergarten and first grade, started at Pleasant Valley Christian, which we loved. That school, just very intimate, great foundation for them. And that's actually where my son, Mikey, he started. He's 3 years old, 3.5. And he's over at Pleasant Valley, which is what Emma did. And Cape, to me, is almost like an extension, a small teacher to student ratio. She had 2 credentialed teachers in her kindergarten class, and the kindergarten class was split up like between the AM and the PM. And PM for her still started at like 11 o'clock. It was a little later start time, but awesome. I mean, just loved it, loved school. Even right now, she's already done with all her homework. It's not even 10 o'clock, and she's already knocked it all out. And it's not easy. She just loves it. She's really into it. So it's nice having a credentialed teacher as my wife to be able to help these kids stay on track right now.
Yeah, we're just working on sight words, because I actually called, it was the Facebook group, the Cape's Facebook presence. I messaged them, and I was trying to figure out, what should we be doing to prepare, and
right.
what are the applications they're using on these iPad pictures I see all over the place. And they said, no, just focus on sight words. And my girl, she's got that down pat. But it sounds like, I guess, maybe our boys will both be in the same grade then.
Yeah. That'd be cool. My son is he's October 4th, so is his birthday 2016, I believe it is.
Okay, yeah, maybe he'll be in the next class. My son was he was 2017 in April, so he just turned turned 3. But right. that might actually be the same. I'm not sure.
Yeah, possibly. My son is later, so I know for our daughter, at least for Pleasant Valley, her birthday is 12/3, December 3rd, and she was off by 1 day. So I know she had to stay. I believe she's one of the older kids in her classes. Yeah, she's not one of the young ones. She's one of the older ones. But yeah, it's worked out really well there. So yeah, so I guess, do you have time now, or would you like to talk another time, or what works for you? And,
I have time now if you do. I just got out of a meeting, and I figured this is a good time to give you a call, but
yeah.
Whatever works for your schedule.
Well, if it's okay with you, I do have a team meeting to hop on here shortly, but
sure.
I have a good 15 minutes or so if you just want to share with me just kind of what it is you're looking to do. And then what I'd like to do, and is it going to be you and your wife on the loan, or?
Yeah, I would probably. She's not working right now.
Okay.
until my kids are both into school. So,
right.
But I would like her. As long as it helps the case. I mean, she's got good credit, and I've got good credit. So
Okay.
She just doesn't have any income at this point. But,
yeah. Well, and those are the scenarios we'll look at with usually I recommend Jason Harrelson. I don't know. Do you have somebody on the loan side that you've spoken to yet?
So that was one of the things I was going to explain and try to get your opinion. And you kind of hit on it during your seminar.
Right.
But I'll just give you the quick rundown.
Sure.
So so what we're really focused on is looking between the extreme far west of Camarillo to to Thousand Oaks to maybe just east of 23.
Okay.
Highway 23 up there. And that's kind of the range we're looking at with the idea. So I'm a Navy civilian. I work down in Port Hueneme.
Okay.
And I don't mind if I were to drive from Thousand Oaks, but I'm eyeing towards, in a few years, especially after this the coronavirus situation kind of figure out a solution. I think I'd like to pivot to working commercial work, maybe Westlake. What's the name of that? Well, towards LA, but not into LA. I don't want to go that far. But so that's the idea with Thousand Oaks to Camarillo. I understand. It'd be for some of those locations about a 20-minute drive from where the house would be to Cape, and that's not a great solution. But we love Camarillo, but it's just trying to open up the aperture a little bit, just so they can get access to more houses. So from the loan side, I do want to get pre-approved just to have an idea. Okay. Although I'm renting right now. I rent here in Camarillo. Okay. And it was the reason I wanted to rent is because I wasn't sure if I'd stay. Right. Because I moved here from South Carolina. Wildly different, but I love it here. This is where I feel like we need to be, especially now that we're in Cape. Right. So, and what we're focusing on is now I'm not pre-approved and I don't have an idea necessarily, but I've got about $150K for a down payment. Okay. And the salary's at 160 right now. I mean, I'll be going through I'll be getting some additional money soon, but in terms of salary, but yeah, that's kind of the financials and what we're looking at. And now I've got a good buddy of mine back in Augusta, Georgia, who works finance, and he said, "Yeah, I'll get you the best rate," so on and so forth. And I thought, okay, that'd be the great solution because I kind of owe him anyway from a long time ago. Long story. Yeah. But then after having the seminar and learning about the different benefits that you need somebody to understand, so that there's those grants that you guys spoke about. Right. And there's other potential. I don't know that I would qualify for the grants, but I saw at least one of them where the max salary was 190. Right. So we're under the salary requirements, but I don't know. So I don't know what the art of the possible is yet. Right. But I'm specific on what I like in terms of a house. I really want a good investment, but also, my kids. We have a nice house here. We have a nice backyard and whatnot. So I definitely have a lot of things in mind in terms of what I want in a house. And I know that over the next year, I know house sales just dropped dramatically. Right. I've been trying to track that. And I know that, with the CARES Act and forbearance, I know that it sounds to me like we're going to be in trouble in about 11 months or 10 months maybe when forbearance may end or I don't know. From what I read, it seems like when the CARES Act forbearance ends, that those payments are due in a lump sum. And if that's the case, people are going to be I don't want that to be the case. That'd probably be good for me if it was, but it'd be bad for America and my country, obviously. So I don't want that to happen and there to be mass problems. But I don't know. Long story short, I'm looking to do it within the next year. Okay. With the idea of Camarillo to Thousand Oaks, and I'm open to suggestions on the financial side. And I'll just have to tell my buddy I'm sorry.
Awesome. Well, yeah, no, it's it's always good to at least get a second opinion, and you may still want to speak to your buddy. Jason, who was on the call, and you may have got to hear him just a little bit. Were you on the first and second day, or first on both days? But I remember, I think Jason was the name. Yeah. The guy that spoke a lot. Yeah, well, there was Mark Richardson and Jason. Both of them are awesome. Jason's who I have personally used. and I've worked closely with in the last 6 years. I managed a C21 office in Wood Ranch, West Simi, and we had a high producing office, a lot of great agents. Mark Richardson helped quite a few there, so he's somebody who I still trust. But Jason's just my guy that I personally use. When I purchased, we bought our second home a couple years ago in Central Camarillo, right off Dunnigan and Mobile, and also fell in love with the yard. Had a nice yard. I don't like the busy intersection, but it makes up for it in the backyard. So we spend a lot of time in the backyard. Um, but yeah, no, jumped on it when the opportunity came up. It's 4 streets up from where my parents are at, where I kind of grew up, is what I call it. My dad retired out of Point Magoo in 96 is when we moved here. I think it was 98 when he retired. And then he bought his first property here in Camarillo, Central Camarillo. I think at that time around 200,000, and it's a great buy at the time. It seemed high for him, but over time proved to be really good. It worked out nice. So yeah, so no, just getting into a little bit of what you touched on though. You mentioned about the forbearance, just a couple things that they're not getting a lot of publicity. So yes, you're correct. Sales were down about 30-40% last month due to everything that's happened with the stay-at-home order, the restrictions on showings, all the different factors, including people their hours getting cut before the verification of income or employment, days before closing. That happened. People who were on non-QM loans, those were a little bit riskier loans. So say they had a BK or a late, like on their mortgage payment within the last 12 months, they couldn't do your traditional Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loans, so they had to get a non-QM. Well, I actually had one where the buyer was in escrow for about a month and a half. And then after this whole COVID-19 hit, that lender stopped doing the non-QM loans. So she couldn't do it, even though she was fully approved, everything was ready to go. So different factors like that led to a huge drop. And then also sellers pulling their houses off the market in fear of bringing in somebody with COVID-19. So that's where you saw the 40% drop. Now, the misconception that's out there is people think that means prices came down. Prices have actually increased since then. Inventory has dropped even further. Rates are still solid, and if not even better than anticipated. So the demand is extremely high right now. More of it's bottled up, and as we get more and more towards opening up California, it's just going to get more busy and more competitive. Now, it does depend what price point you're looking at. And based off what you've shared so far, my guess is you're probably, I mean, do you have a number in mind that you think roughly that you're hoping to try to keep the price point under or within a certain range?
Well, with the interest rates of about 3 or 3.5, I was looking at about 750K.
Okay. And that's where I was gonna say ballpark, if you can see what these are considered for most people is a high balance loan. So a loan that's over 510,000 for your financed amount, which you may be if you're going 750, right? Even with 100 plus down, which is significant. To put 160K down, that's similar to what we put down when we bought our house in Central Camarillo at 573. We put about 120 down. I wanted to have my 20% down, wanted to try to get rid of my mortgage insurance as much as I could, and go that route. Well, it was great, kept my payment where I wanted it. Do you have a ballpark of where you'd like to keep your monthly payment?
So I've been paying 3,100 for rent.
Okay.
It's not been an issue. I think we'd be able to go to 3,600 and it not, and 3,600 I think is a good place to be. I don't really want to go over that, but
right.
I think I could. We don't have, we don't have much in terms of debt. We've got a very small car loan. My car is paid off. No student loans anymore.
Good.
No credit card debt. So
good.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Yeah. So your debt to income ratio should be phenomenal, just with your salary, which is great. And then what is likely to be the case, and we do this quite a bit, is we'll put the loan in one borrower's name, and that actually makes it easier. But then on title, you have both you and your wife on title. So that way you're the only one that's required to sign the documents, verification of income, employment. They won't have to pull up your wife's job history. Yes, her credit is great and it could help just in terms of showing solid credit between husband and wife, but it doesn't in terms of income on your debt to income. It sounds like just based off what you're sharing, you're going to be fine on your own. So the benefit to having somebody like Jason here or Mark, but if it were me, I would talk to Jason Harrelson. The benefit to speaking to somebody like him is not only knowing all the nuances of what's happening right now, but more importantly, um, it's having somebody close that you can speak to that can really package everything up and speak to you and explain the financing side that is critical to understand as you decide what is the best loan product for you, right? And he'll tell you if your buddy offers something that's an exceptional rate that Jason can't beat or can't do, he'll say, hey, I can't beat that. You got to go with your buddy. And he'll tell you that, and there isn't any cost or anything of getting prepared. Now, I never try to encourage anybody to start working with Jason, get all your answers figured out, and then go work with somebody else. I never recommend that. But Jason is an honest, straight up person. He gets business and understands that, hey, sometimes there is an offer out there that he can't beat, like one of those down payment assistance programs, right? That somebody may qualify for, that he has access to the moderate income one you talked about, the CalHFA. But in all honesty, the cost is so high for it that you're not going to get a low 3% interest rate. You're going to pay a higher interest rate to get that assistance. And that's for somebody typically who doesn't have a lot of money down. The fact that you have money that you can put down, you want to get the best interest rate possible that you can get at the lowest cost, the least out of pocket, get the best interest rate you can, fix that for 30 years. And then now, no matter what, you got one of the best long-term investments that you can have, regardless of what happens with the market and the cycle, because for 30 years, you're going to have the lowest interest rate. You'll never want to refinance it, because you have it at the lowest rate possible, especially if you have no mortgage insurance. And if you go conventional, as long as you have at least 20% down or in equity, which you're going to have significant amount down, but say you went higher to the 750 mark, didn't quite have 20% down, but you had like 15. Once you had an additional 5% in equity, which all the stats and everything's showing right now, that they actually expect the prices to continue to appreciate 2.5 to 5% over the next 12 months, which seems very likely because of how much buying activity is happening right now. So getting back to your forbearance, where you brought that up, two things have come out. One, saying that forbearance should end after the first 3 months that it was initiated, which is good for the economy. It's good for everybody. The forbearance is not a good thing, right? Not for the health of the housing industry. The second thing is they're doing a deferment option. So anybody who has a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, type loan, then basically instead of having to pay that lump sum, it's deferred to either when they refinance it or at the end of the loan. So that's huge. And that's smart on their part, where they still get their money. The money's not dropped off. It's not forgiven. They'll still get paid. Just they're not going to demand it up front. So with that news coming out, personally, I don't see it coming down in the next 11 months, where originally I thought there was a chance for it. Really, what would have to happen is another second wave, which people are predicting that should happen coming in the fall. And if that impacts and they have to shut everything down again and we start seeing it again and we lose buyer confidence, then you're going to see that trickle effect of everybody trying to put their house on the market. But we're already seeing that come up. Inventory is coming up on a regular basis, but it's going out really quick as well. So without getting too much into it, I just wanted to share those points with you, because all the reason to really just see where you're at today, get a snapshot, find out, even if you're thinking 6 months to a year from now, where am I at today? Where the rate's at today? What opportunities are out there? What fits what I'm looking for? And if it all makes sense, you want to be ready to pull the trigger when that opportunity comes up, because the good ones are gone. And if you're looking over, I'd say over 650 to 750 in that range, hopefully you're going to have a little bit more time to react and pick and negotiate, because most people don't have 160 to put down. They got 5% to put down, right? They got quite a bit less. So when that's the case, they're paying a premium in terms of a high balance loan. So when I started talking about that 510 amount, when you start paying over that, the rate it's a little bit higher, and to bring that rate down, the cost goes up. So that means you either got to put a little bit more money down, or you're paying a little bit more in closing costs to get the lowest rate possible. So what that does, though, is that creates an opportunity for you where some of these homes could sit that normally would be flying off the market. They're sitting now because you have less competition. So that can create a huge opportunity for you if you're ready to go and you find something that normally would be about 800,000 that you're getting for 750 or in the low sevens, or something of that. You're going to have a much higher upward appreciation potential, which is huge. So my buyers that are looking under 550 and below, it is extremely competitive, and we're lucky to get in backup offer in some situations. For yours, not saying you can't get to a multiple, I just got a little bit more, and I have one person that right now is looking up to 700,000, and we're seeing it, but the good ones are still going. But maybe they don't go on the first day. Maybe it's taken a week now. So you got a little bit more time to kind of react and do that. I can't say it's going to stay that way, but that's at least what we're seeing right now.
Okay, great. That's great news.
Cool. Okay, well, I guess, and I do want to get a little bit more of what it is you're exactly looking for. Do you want me to get you Jason's phone number in the interim, just so that you can at least make a touch base with him, and then he can share with you what he needs on his end, and then once he can get you all those numbers and a rough idea, then what we can do is we can set up another call. I'll get the specifics of exactly what you're looking for, set you up so that you're receiving all the listings, the new ones as they hit the market, as well as any price reductions. And then from there, we can set up some time, even though I know we're still early in the process, but maybe even set up a weekend or a time where we go check out 3-4 places, not expecting that you're going to like any of those homes, but then I can get a better idea of what it is you're looking for. And then we all keep an eye on what's coming up over the next 6 months to a year.
Okay, and if you'd like, I can text you kind of the criteria. Honestly, just looking at them online will be really easy for me to decide.
Cool.
Because I know the criteria of my wife. She's particular in one area,
right,
and I'm particular in another one. So what I've been doing is I've been using the bhsre.com website to kind of access the MLS to find. I've been looking daily for over 2 months now.
Okay.
So I've got an idea of how it is out there, and I've been watching the ones that sell, and I was really, really surprised. I mean, you were spot on in your seminar. I know you got to go here pretty soon, but you were spot on in your seminar where you were saying, these houses are going at or higher than their prices that they're asking. So
right.
I've been tracking, and I understand the realistic ground truth of what's happening out there. So
good.
I'll take Jason. You said Harold's?
Yeah, Jason Haroldson. I'll text you his contact info, and if it's okay, can I give him a heads up that you'll be reaching out to him? So I'll get you that, and then he has like an online application portal that you can actually upload the W-2s or however you get paid, that information, latest pay stubs, and he'll get all that, and then your authorization, if it's okay to run your credit. And again, there's no cost on any of that, but once he has all that, now he'll know, okay, this is where you're at. Or he could say, hey, you may want to pay some of these things down, but it sounds like you've done pretty well with your debt, that it's minimal, and I doubt you're going to have to do anything in terms of debt to income. But still, once he has all that, then he can give you an official pre-approval letter. And then literally this weekend, if there was something that you wanted to see or go check out, we could do it. But what they're requiring is that pre-approval, a recent pre-approval letter, because some people were approved a month ago, and now today their hours have changed. You know what I mean? So they want something recent, and they also want you to fill out what's called a PED form. And that's just basically saying that you understand the dangers of the coronavirus, that it's lethal, and that you're waiving those rights if anything happened. Then you got to wear a mask, 2 gloves, and in some cases booties. We got to take those in. We're only supposed to take 2 people from the same household at a time on showings with an agent, which makes it challenging. Yeah, but it'd
be easy for us. So we started the quarantine about 2 weeks earlier than everybody else did, just because I was concerned about it.
Okay.
And, I've been out to Costco once in this entire time. So
wow.
We started at February 29th was my last day at work. I've been working from home ever since.
Okay.
And we've only been out once, so
Yeah.
I'm really risk averse. I want to minimize any potential, even though it seems like it's nowhere near what I thought it might have been.
Right.
Just looking at them online, unless I was really serious about it, would be beneficial for me. Just really quickly, I know you probably have a 10:30, but
no problem.
For me, about 2 years ago, I canceled all my credit cards because I didn't need them anymore because of the kind of travel I was doing. I had to use a government credit card, and I had all these travel cards that I used to balance and that really helped my credit. And so I checked my credit back, about a month ago when I was starting this, and it had dropped to like 740, and
right.
so I researched why, and then I figured out, I need some credit.
Yep.
Even though I have all this money in the bank.
Right.
So I went and I got 2 credit cards.
Good.
Just within this past month, and it popped back up over 800.
Good.
I know I'll probably have to explain this more to Jason, but I just wanted to let you know that my credit, I just did 2 credit cards. So
good.
I don't know how that's going to affect if he runs it.
Yeah. No, but that's why we want him to check that out. And it's actually for things like that, because a lot of people think it's better to cancel and get rid of the credit cards, and you actually want to keep that longevity. You want to, the longer you keep it, you don't close it, you pay them off, right? And then if anything, use one to pay for gas and things like that. Just pay it off right away. Always keep the balances under 30%. Ideally, if you can, and keep the balances low, but you want to have the limits high, and that helps your credit. But they also want to see the longevity, right? They want to see the credit history, how long, and not that they're just shut down. So that's why you saw the influx or the change in the score. But again, the reason, because Jason will tell you, especially if you're really thinking 6 months to a year from now, he's going to say, okay, these are the things you need to do. And that would have been one of the first things. All right, open a credit card, at least one. Hold on to it. You don't need to rack it up. Just hold on to it. Use it for minimal things that you can pay off right away. And that's going to show some strength, as well as help you with the credit history part. But I still think you're going to be fine. Even if you were in the mid 7s, you're still good. But obviously being in yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so no, that's all good. If you want to send me kind of the specifics of what you're looking for, either by email or text, it's good. And do you have my email?
I don't.
Okay. It's Brandon. It's my first name, BRANDON, at bhsre.com. And what's your best email, Ryan?
It's Ryan Allen. I can text it to you if you'd like, but it's Ryan, RYAN. Allen, ALLEN. Knight, KNIGHT @gmail.com.
Perfect. And then would you like me to take your wife's down as well?
She doesn't really check email much.
Okay.
She's more of a text, but I can always share whatever.
Perfect. Yeah, that's fine. So just when I'm setting you up, and then do you have a time in mind that you'd like? Are you open to doing a little Zoom meeting that we can just talk about some of the I guess next steps after you speak with Jason?
Yeah, sure, we could do that, and I'll text you, kind of our criteria that we look for.
Okay. What typically works best with your schedule?
It changes dramatically throughout the day.
Okay.
I'm in a lot of meetings, but it would really depend on the day. If you would, after I speak with Jason, if you would just want to send me an invite and I could propose a change,
cool.
And I can do it throughout the day.
Yeah, that works. Let's do it. So I didn't know if you had a preference, like maybe after hours, after 5 o'clock, if that usually freed up.
I think we could do it during after hours. It would be too wild because I have these tiny children.
Right.
I
know you're there.
Yeah, I know you do. I think business hours, it would be fine. I just have to wiggle it in between the other things.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'll plan to try to do something. We can try it. If not tomorrow, depending on how quickly you speak with Jason and get to him at some point tomorrow. Tomorrow for me would be later in the afternoon. Then we can try early next week, which usually Early mornings, I do have meetings. Early afternoon seems to free up a little bit more for me. It's easier for me to schedule appointments like right around 1:30, even if you want to do a lunchtime, if that works better. And again, we can keep it to 30 minutes to an hour, depending, and then set up a follow-up one. You know, we don't have to knock everything out in this next meeting, but just really, I like to touch base, get a real clear understanding. I already got a better idea of what it is you're trying to accomplish. But just to make sure we're on the same page and just working together to figure this out. And, you know, hopefully at the end of the day, if you like the way that we carry ourselves and you want us to represent you, you just, you know, you give me the green light. And as long as I know you're committed to working with me, I'm committed to doing everything I can on my part to make sure you guys get the best opportunity possible, you know. So
great. Yeah, you're the only guy, you're the only one I'm looking at.
Oh, I appreciate that, Ryan. Well, I already can tell from this conversation, it's going to be very easy to work with you just in terms of not your qualifications, but the way you're communicating, you think. It makes it nice, you know, when somebody's picking up what you're putting down. Let's put it that way, right? So no, we can move pretty quickly, but still we take it at your pace. This isn't to rush into anything. This is about finding you the right home that truly meets everything that it is that you're looking for, and coming up with a game plan and executing. You know, so that's it's kind of next steps of at least what I have in mind.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
I appreciate your time.
All right, Ryan. Well, you have a blessed day, and if there's anything, you have my cell. Don't hesitate to reach out at any point.
Will do. Thanks.
All right, Ryan. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Good morning.
Hey guys, I hope you turned the volume down and just kept making calls, right?
I kind of listened in on when you were explaining Jason and stuff, so it was good. Really good.
Awesome. Well, I got it recorded. Sorry to take up the first 30 minutes on that. He literally called minutes before I hopped on this. So, but it's a new lead referral. It sounds really strong. So excited about it.
Yeah. He was the ideal buyer almost.
Absolutely.
Right? That's great.
How you doing, Silver?
Good. How about you guys? How's everybody?
Doing good, man.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's well, I don't know what would work out best for you guys if you guys want to talk about anything, because we didn't really do a training this week. That was my training right there. I just did it. I put it on. How did I do? Where's the criticism?
Well, I heard a little bit when I jump in. You were already in the call, and I heard a little bit, and then I saw that Lesli was muted. So like, I bet she's making calls. So like, I grabbed the phone and I started calling, and I just got I connect with someone that I called on Tuesday. Cool. So I called this, you know, when we were making calls, I called him up and he didn't answer, and then he called me back yesterday, and I saw the phone number and like, that phone number looks familiar. So right now, when I look at the my leads on the ProAgent,
right,
I'm like, oh, that's him. So I called him up, and then we started talking. He picked up because now he knew, because he called me. Now he knew who I was.
Awesome.
And we started talking, and he's like, yeah, we're looking to buy a house with my parents and my sister, you know. So and he's like, my sister's the one that's actually taking care of this business. So I'm gonna have you talk to her, so you can get all the details and stuff. And I'm like, okay, great, you know. So
nice job.
Yeah, it was my first call.
There you go, man. That's the way to start. So now you're hot. So we don't need to practice, man.
Nope. Let's do more phone calls.
Sounds good.
No, unless you guys got something to, you know, that.
It's up to you. I'm just trying to share these contacts real quick to make sure I don't drop the ball with this guy. But and then I'm sending it to Jason, so he's got a heads up. But no, whatever you guys want to do, I'm open for it.
I think a coaching session would be awesome. I'm always up to learning new things and new approaches to how to answer people, you know, because sometimes there was a section that you use, and I think it was with the lending. It's like you made it very soft. Oh yeah, no, but Jason's a good one to use, and I don't know. I have to do the rerun, but but it makes it softer so people are more receptive, than just
No, it's
trust me,
well, remember, it's telling's repelling. Just remember that saying, right?
It is, yeah.
We start telling people what to do. Bless you. We start telling them what to do. They're not truly listening, right? So we have to find a way. You got to get them. It's all knowing people and kind of timing. And then once you know you're at the right spot and you're at the right comfort zone, now you can start kind of giving a little bit of direction. But I'll say it in a way that it takes all the pressure off, make it easy, make it painless. Make it something that it's in your best interest, but I don't tell him, hey, it's in your best interest. He knows enough to know. I asked about financing. He brought up his friend in Georgia, and I didn't shoot it down. I didn't say that's great, work with him. I didn't say any of that. I'm just listening, right? Taking my notes and strategizing in my head. How am I going to pitch this and what advantages? And to be honest, I didn't think I made the greatest case to him. In terms of about Jason or why he wants somebody local here. I just said that he's going to know this inside and out. He's going to know. Jason's calling me right now. Let me just let him know real quick, and I'll put it on speaker. Hey, Jason. Hey, real quick. I'm actually on a training call with Severio and Leslie right now, so they're hearing you. He says hi.
Hey,
so just,
say hi.
Yeah, real fast. So this guy was another referral from Mike Cloud. He also attended the home buyer workshop, watched both days of it, was happy with that. He's ready to get started. He's thinking about 6 months to a year out, but he was also anticipating that the market was going to come down after all these forbearances. I already shared with him, which you shared with me, about the news that it's likely they're going to stop it after the first 3 months, as well as I told him about the whole deferment thing. So, just told him not to hold his breath that the prices are going to be coming down. I said it's likely it's going to be about a 2 to 5% still appreciation over the next 12 months. And you got to take advantage of the low rates right now more than anything. But this guy makes, he said 160 salary, and then 160 a year. He's got 150 saved up, I think he said. 150 in the bank. No debt or very little debt. He's got a small car payment, no student loans. That's all paid off. Excellent credit. He said it dropped because he shut 2 cards down. And I told him, you don't want to do that. Because he had paid them all off, so he shut them down. But then he opened 2, and then his scores are back over 800. It dropped down to 740, but it's back over 8. But I told him, is it okay if Jason runs your credit? And he said, yeah, no issue. So just gave him the little pep talk. To reach out to you. He should be calling you. Sounds like super easy guy to work with. And his kids just got into Cape. So he's looking between Camarillo and Thousand Oaks, somewhere in that range. Okay. And maybe just a little further east of the 23, because he may work out. It sounded like he was talking about Woodland Hills. He was saying more towards LA. He said Westlake. He's like, no, it's further towards LA. So I think he was talking about like Chatsworth, Woodland Hills, or something like that he may do. But right now he currently works on base, civilian contractor over at Wainimi.
Got it. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, sounds like he just, if the right property comes his way, he shouldn't be second guessing that right property is going to go down in value.
Yeah, and he said he's paying $3,100 a month in rent. He's $3,600 is not an issue for him to go to, and he's just kind of guessing he can go up to about $750. But yeah, those were kind of the details. He does have a friend in Georgia who, he kind of feels he owes him one. But once he started hearing about the grants, and I already kind of put that down, but I told him it was definitely worth talking to you and starting with you and getting a good feel for how you work because of our history of working together. So he's like, no, I definitely got no problem giving him a call. I said, great. So just to give you the heads up, he's got a buddy in Georgia who's going to try to give him a great rate,
Okay. Sounds
cool.
Good. And I just responded to Tyler, so everything's good
cool.
there.
Tyler's good?
Yeah.
Good.
Then we just got to figure out Nickman. I don't know if you saw that email from escrow, but
no, I didn't see it from escrow today. I'll check that out. All right.
So he just doesn't want to send the EMD in until he knows the property's going to go through. So.
Yeah. No, well, he doesn't need to though. We're not supposed to until they locate another property. So once they locate another property, then we send it in. So I actually pushed back on it first.
Oh, okay. That's what he's referring to. Not like,
yeah, no,
wait till the very end.
no,
Okay.
I pushed back on that because they didn't know it was a SPRP, seller purchase or replacement property. Their TC is based out of San Diego. She only had their random purchase agreement, you know what I mean, through HomePie.
Right.
So I told them, no, the SPRP is incorporated. They still need to locate their home of choice. We're not putting earnest money or starting anything until they find their house and, you know, remove that contingency.
Okay. All right, cool.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, bud. I'll talk to you soon, Jason.
Okay.
You feeling better?
Right. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I haven't had any pain meds or anything. I iced the shit out of it yesterday. Like, I was lying on my back, and yeah, I don't know. I think I woke up wrong, and then I'm working in not the ideal situation, and I think it just aggravated everything. So I was like, shit, I gotta just turn everything off and lay on my back, and iced it. Took a bunch of pain meds, and it got better, especially after last night's sleep. So.
Well, suck it up, Jason.
Yeah, right.
All right, man. All right, bud. I'll talk to you later, man. All right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
That was funny.
See, Leslie, you're the only young one here. That's what all these old farts get to deal with. Icing their back up.
It can be deceiving. I'm a little older than people think.
All right.
Okay.
So so you're saying, you know, it's 10:40. How much time do you guys got? I want to be respectful of your time. How are you doing on time, Silver?
I got until 11.
At 11 o'clock? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's jump on
some calls. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send those over. Feel free to go ahead and jump on if you want to mute it down or drop the volume. I just want to see if there's anything Leslie want to talk about real quick before we hop on. Okay. Yep. Leslie, anything?
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to practice or touch on or coach, as you were saying?
No, I think it's okay for now. I'll be okay.
Well, we can after 11 o'clock, if we still got a few minutes, we can touch on it. So there are some things I got to jump on too, but we'll make the most out of this. So I'm going to send the leads now. Okay. Let's get on the calls. Just trust yourself, Leslie, is the biggest thing I can keep saying. You're always going to find a way of how you promote a loan officer. Just remember, it's all about timing, right?
Right.
And when you have the right to ask the right question, then people are more likely to be more on board with it. But you got to kind of sell it some or make it easy. Like I said, make it painless. Make it something that they realize it's in their best interest. This is where we start. You got to have that combo. Once we go from there, then we'll set up our appointment and we'll have a really good idea of what it is you can accomplish, you know?
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to pull up the ProAgent site and I'll send you guys some new ones if you guys want to just call the follow-ups in the meantime.
Okay.
Okay, there's only a handful of new ones that came in over the last day, but let's send these over.
Okay.
Yeah, sending you 3 each, but they look pretty decent. No problem. Thank you guys for hopping on. So they should be in your contact list now.
Perfect. I'm about to call.
Okay.
Oh, and I called 3 earlier, but they didn't answer, so I'm up to 3 people so far.
Okay.
Okay, calling. Esther.
Hello?
Hello, Joe?
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. This is Silverio Martinez from Century 21. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I really don't have any time to talk about real estate at this point in time.
Can I call you another time?
Hold on one second. Hold on. One second. Maybe I do have time. Okay. Sorry. I just got back from. Yeah, hold on one second.
No, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Okay. 1 second.
Take your time.
Can you call me back in like 5 minutes? Do you mind?
No, not at all. I'll call you back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, is this Davinder?
1 second, please.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Hi, Davinder. Hello?
Just try to call back. It could have been a bad connection.
Okay. I think it was his kid. His little kid.
Hello.
Hi, it looks like the call dropped.
Yeah, 1 second, please.
Sure.
There's a call for you. It's 818-2454. Who is this?
I'm calling because there was a request for information on properties in California. Do your parents have a minute?
Say a real estate agent.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. Real estate agent.
It's this California health thing. It's for you. Hello?
Hi, Davinder.
Who's this?
Yes, it's Lesli Fernandez with Veteran Home Services. The reason I'm calling is I noticed you're looking at property on my website in California. I just wanted to know what you're looking for.
Yeah, I was going through just like that.
Perfect. What are you, so what are you looking for in California?
4 bedroom, 2 bathroom.
Okay.
I was looking something single story, little older house.
Okay, older.
Because I need it for business, so I don't want to spend too much on it.
For business, okay. In what area?
Chatsworth, Simi Valley,
Okay.
or Canoga Park, something near West Hills, not a Canoga Park, like, the boundary of West Hills and Canoga Park. So
yes.
the Canoga Park area right there, because I feel that will be cheaper.
Okay, okay. What's, so you mentioned cheaper, what's your price range?
I don't want to go above
500? Okay.
Yeah.
Top, okay, perfect.
That is my next budget.
You know, it's interesting. I was looking in that area, and I think I found a couple good deals, so I can send that to you too. Let me confirm with you. What's your email? Is it KAURDA Vinder?
Yeah, the vendor.
078. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. So,
what company you guys belong to?
I'm actually with Veteran Home Services.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we look all over California for you. And so tell me, how long have you been looking for a home?
Less than a week.
Okay. That's great. And time-wise, how soon would you like to be moved into your new home?
I'm not gonna move in again because it's gonna be my, business. It's for business purposes. But the sooner I get, the sooner I can start.
Okay.
And that's how I feel.
Perfect. And so you'll need it to be commercial property as well?
Not commercial. It will be a house. It will be run as a household.
Got it.
Actually, I need to start a boarding care.
Okay, boarding care. Perfect.
So adult care house.
Boarding care. Okay. Are there things?
It's gonna be like run as a house. It's not a commercial property or anything.
Perfect. Are there things that you're looking for particularly within the home? Just needs and wants.
I need at least 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
Okay. That's
kitchen,
right.
Because people living there need to cook there. Garage.
Okay. How many cars?
Single story. Even 1 or 2, whatever it is, I'm okay with
1 or 2.
Nobody can park their car there. But single story. I don't want double story.
Okay, for sure. No. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Single story.
so Devinder, have you had a chance to speak with someone about financing?
No, I don't want to unless I really see something good.
Got it. Okay.
Because I know my credit is okay. I'll get it anyway. It's not a issue with getting loan or anything.
Okay. Okay.
But,
Wonderful.
Lesli.
I want to make sure I see a house before we, proceed for financing or anything. Because I know my credit is okay. My business partners, I have 2, so their credit is wonderful also. So we can get a loan without any issues.
Oh, perfect. No,
Some places require a pre-approval letter up front.
Definitely. No, and you know what? The only reason I ask is because there's some places, for example, if say I find a house that fits all your needs and wants and we're ready to go to go ahead and see it. It's right now because of what's going on with the COVID situation, they asked me to send them a pre-approval letter first before taking a look at the property. So what this can...
For that, I have to ask my business partners first.
Okay.
2 of them are working today. I'm the only one who's off.
No worries. Oh, nice. You have the day off.
We work full time. We all work full time. So, I have to talk to them before I...
Absolutely. And that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
What I can do is I can provide you with my lender's information, and if you want, he doesn't even have to run your credit if that's what you're if you're hesitant about. He would just kind of go through a couple numbers with you, and if anything, give you more information to make you a savvy buyer if you need to. So let me see. Would it be okay if I had my lender reach out to you?
Maybe later. Yes.
Later?
In an hour and so.
In about an hour? Okay. Let me.
Yeah, because I just stepped in after grocery. I need some time to.
No worries.
Settle down.
No worries. Well, Devinder, what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to do some homework for you. So I'm going to look up a couple properties in that same area that you're telling me, and then if you like them, then we can go ahead and take a look at them. Would you want to take a look at property? Or,
yes, we will like to see. But if you can send us the pictures first, then like all 3 of us can go through with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then decide which one, because since all 3 of us work full time,
okay.
we don't want to waste our time going here and there for when if I really know that there's a potential, then we will go look for it.
Right, and that makes complete sense.
Then we can see, how much work needs to be done, what we need to do, how many changes we need to do, But we really don't want to make rounds again and again, because really don't have that much time.
No, I completely understand. I mean, if you all work full time, I understand how hard it can be to separate some time.
I am a full-time student also, so
wow, that's great.
It's not just, we don't want to. We really don't have a time to waste, basically.
And you know what? That's exactly why I mentioned it, because what I'll do is I can preview the home for you so that you don't have to waste your time. Let me do that footwork. All I ask is, if you're not working with anyone else, I would be happy to be your go-to person and your point of information so that I'll do all the work for you. All you have to see is approve.
I'm not working with somebody else, but my partners are also looking for the house,
Okay.
So they might be working with somebody else.
Got it. Okay.
They might told their people to look for a house for them also. So
got it.
So I don't guarantee that there will not be anybody else.
Thank you for the honesty. I truly appreciate it. No, it's wonderful. So you have 2 other business partners, right?
I have 2 other business partners.
Perfect. What I was thinking is, whenever you have time, if we can do a Zoom call, we can all get on the same page and then eventually, find the right house for all of you guys. But let's do this. Let me have Jason reach out if that's okay with you, and we can go from there. Does that sound good?
Okay. Yes, no problem.
Perfect. And is this your cell phone or your house number?
This is my home number.
What's your cell phone?
Cell phone I'll give you, but if I'm at work, I will not even pick it up because it's turned off. I work in a hospital. It's turned off in my locker.
Got it. No worries. I completely understand.
So it's 818-793-3491.
Okay, perfect. And I can send you a text by this number as well?
Yeah, and whenever I'll open it, I'll answer you. If I'm home, I will answer, no problem. But, if I'm work, none of us will answer.
Okay, great.
These days.
Wonderful. Well, Devinder, let me know if you ever need anything. My phone number is, this is my cell phone that you see on your phone. And if you see a property that you like, let me know about it and I can call the agent for you. I can find out more information for you so that you're, you can.
Yeah.
Sounds good? Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon, okay? Have a good one. Bye.
You too, bye.
There's a oh man. Brandon. Cool.
Hello.
Hello, Joe.
Yes.
Hi, this is Silverio Martinez from Century 21 again. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Hi. That's okay.
Great. Listen, Joe, the reason why I'm calling is because I have seen that you visited my website, my real estate website, and I just wanted to get an idea what kind of property you're looking for.
Well, my wife and I are looking. We're not looking immediately to do something unless it's an unbelievable opportunity. We're looking for another property, a house, somewhere between probably 400,000 to 700,000 in that area. Somewhere between like Woodland Hills all the way up to Ventura,
Okay.
Could be a distressed property, a short sale and foreclosure, or it could be just on the market for a while. Oh, well, also Northridge is a possibility.
Okay.
Porter Valley, Porter Ranch.
Porter Ranch, yeah, I know those areas too. Yep.
Right. Again, we're just looking for, we would like to have it as a rental property.
Oh, okay. So you're looking for an income property, a rental.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. All right. Let's see, from 400 to 700,000. And I know exactly the areas that you're looking. I live over here in Camarillo, but I used to live in San Fernando, off of Northridge. So I know that area too. I know the Ventura area, and as a matter of fact, I'm gonna be having a listing in the next couple of weeks, which is not a distressed property, it's a fixer-upper. It's a nice piece of property. It will be listed at around 700,000, and it has 4 bedrooms, two and a half bath, with a pool. It's located in a cul-de-sac on the north side of Las Posas, which it is called the Camarillo Heights, and with a lot of 11,000 square feet. So it's but it needs work. It needs new kitchen, it needs new bathrooms.
Right. It's an old house. So it's on Las Posas, and it's north of the 101 freeway. And how high up Las Posas is it?
It is about 3 blocks up high in Las Posas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we know that we have a good friend that lives up on Avocado Street, off there.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly. I know that area. Yeah, going towards the golf course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But this one is over here, like right north of Las Posas, between Carmen and I think it's just past Lantana, and then you make a right going up the hill. But it's a nice neighborhood, clean, and also it has a pool.
The pool thing, I'm not crazy about that idea.
Yeah. I don't think it'll work with a rental because of the liability. But yeah.
No, I like the idea of the area. I think 700 for a fixer-upper is not real. That's a little too much than what we're looking to spend. Because normally those things, it's going to cost $100,000 to get those things up to speed, at least.
Definitely.
So I think that's not exactly, but I mean, I like the area. The area is cool.
Yeah, no, the area is a nice.
We love that area. That's if it's something up there, that would be fine. Even up to Ventura, we have friends that live up in Ventura, off Victoria up there.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, but again, we're not urgent.
Right.
And quite frankly, both of us, my wife and I, believe that the market is going to get softer. And I think that with all the unemployment, with people, who purchased things in the last couple of years, I think there's a lot of people that are going to be in the same problem that 2008, 2009. So that's my thinking. That's what I think.
Right.
So, we're looking, but, again, I wouldn't drop everything and say, hey, this is a priority client. We're ready to dump a bunch of cash. No, we're not.
Got it.
But we're looking, and if it was the right situation, we certainly could jump on it. But, so I want to be honest with you. I don't want to waste your time.
Okay.
So that's where it's at.
I understand. But you see, when the opportunities show up, that's when you have to, make a move. So what I can do.
Listen, if the right opportunity, sure.
Correct.
But again, it
Yeah.
has to be the right. What you're describing to me with that home doesn't even sound like the right opportunity for us.
Yeah, no. I just throw that out there, but no, yeah. I know that when you're looking for an investment home, and first of all, a pool is not ideal for that kind of investment.
Exactly. No,
so no.
And here's the other thing. You know, if it was the right thing, I could always. I own my home outright, so I live in Woodland Hills. So
okay.
I mean, if it was the absolute right deal, I might think about moving and renting this place out.
Oh,
you know, so
yeah.
I could do that also. You know that, but it has to be the right situation.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
so and you know my house is worth somewhere around between 800 and 900, and you know, so
okay.
you know, I mean, I'm not even though my business is terrible because nothing's happening, but my wife has a great job, and so you know we're
in a good position to do anything if the great opportunity shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So
yep.
yeah, if you see something, email me or text me and say, look at this or whatever, and I'll, you know, I'm open. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
So,
I like that idea. So let me just confirm your email address. Is it a playerstnt@yahoo.com?
That's correct.
Perfect.
Yes.
And this is your cell phone number, right?
That's correct.
So I can text you over here. What I'll do is I'll keep my eyes open for because there are going to be a lot of opportunities. Like I think you're probably right when you say that there's people that are going to be in trouble. Not everybody's going to be safe, even though the banks are trying not to fall into the same situation that happened, 2007, 2008. But there's people.
It's going to be exactly the same situation because the banks, even though the banks have been very tight, a lot of people went out and bought stuff, with marginal down payments, with 10%, 5%, so-and-so, all banking on everything going up, just like what they did in 2008.
Correct.
And everything was overinflated. Believe me, I saw that thing happening from a mile away, and I actually made a move in a different direction, and it paid off very nicely.
Okay.
So, again, I'm pretty savvy. I'm not that savvy, but I'm pretty savvy about what's going on. But it has to be the right situation.
Perfect.
All the stars have to line up.
Great. And if you find something, online or whatever, you can always shoot me the address and say, hey, Silver, take a look at this property. Find out the details. Let me know what's going on. It looks like it might be a good fit. And I'll be happy just to run that property profile and find out what's going on with the property and stuff like
that. Okay, well, sure. So, yeah, again, you got my email address.
Yep.
Send me the stuff that you have, that you're listing, and I'll take a look at what you've got. And then I'll have you on my file. All right.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much for taking my call. I appreciate it. Okay. Bye-bye.
out there.
Right.
You know, that will let you kind of see too what kind of activities also going out there too. You do your meetings and stuff like that. You may have someone that goes, yeah, that's exactly what they want. A single story, you know, perfect.
Yep.
You know, cul-de-sac. So then if it's a home run kind of thing, it feels like I can handle dealing with that.
Yep.
You know, and he's been finally thinking about this because he knows the housing market. You know, I've been in his head. Everything is red. I'm like, the housing market's probably going to crash. It's just a matter of time when.
Right.
And if you can get on the right side of this thing and sell your house right now, let someone else get your house at an awful price, then that's on them.
Right.
I said, I'm sorry. It sucks because I've been on the other side of it in stocks going, why did I buy that when it's really only worth 40 cents? And I got it at 63 cents when it was as high as 90 cents. And now I'm sitting at 63 cents and now it's freaking 40 cents. And I'm never going to get up there until I have another freaking party.
Right.
And then just wait for that party. I wait for the party and it gets really close to that number. And you know what you realize in stocks? You have to sell for losses sometimes.
Right.
So I lost $300 on that stock and I was happy as shit.
Right.
Because I went from losing a shit ton of money to only losing 300. I was like, okay, well that same day I made money on another stock, a bunch of money, and I was like, so that counteracts itself. But if I wrap my money in that one stock and keep going in a losing venture, I'm going to lose.
Right.
So it's just like sometimes, like you said, you got to cut your losses.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and it's okay if you sacrifice money, you pay for things that you do, you know, you help people out.
Right.
It does come back to you. And I'm like, this is just going to be a write-off of, you know, I'm allowed to claim $3,000 a year on capital gain losses.
Right.
So I'm like, so I now have 2,700 left.
Yep.
You know, but the problem is that I'm like, so that's how it works. It's just a very fun system, and I've learned more about real estate from my transaction with you.
Yeah.
And then learning about the stocks and everything, and how loans work. And I've learned a lot about loans and how because that's about investing.
Right.
And I was like, this is interesting. I'm like, I understand real estate now, even more than I understood it back then.
That's cool, man.
So that's good stuff, man. I mean,
yeah.
I told them, like, with the interest rates, the time, people will pay more money.
Yeah.
Because of what the rates are at.
Right.
And I said, and you know, they shouldn't. That would be my philosophy.
Yep.
You know, if you were out buying a house, you would sit there and you would be paying the rates that some people are paying right now. They're unheard of. And then you look at the high-end real estate, these high-end houses, they're not selling for that, but that's a very hard market to sell in.
Right.
You know, $30 million home. Sorry, how many buyers are there? Talking about freaking not very many.
No, not a whole lot, man. And even, I mean, as long as you're under 1.2, there's still properties moving, you know? So in that 900 price point, there's buyers out there. We just have to see how we're competing against the other people that are on the market. And again, if that one at 920 has been sitting there for a long time, that's probably an indication, they're asking 920, doesn't mean they're going to get 920, you know? So once I pull up the comps, see what the highest comps are in that area that are similar, that'll give me a better feel of what we realistically can get. You know how it works.
When do you think you'll have the comps done? Today, probably?
Yeah, today. I'll have it done today. So I'm going to check it all out, get that overall, email that over to you, and then set up a time. And if you want to do a conference call, we can do a conference call, or I can just call him directly. Either way, whatever
yeah,
you
he's
prefer.
cool. I have no problem you just talking with him directly. I just wanted to basically give you a little heads up of like what was going on, get your thoughts, your feel, what you thought the market was doing. It feels like it's, you know, I feel like it's a good time to sell right now.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, there's probably some buyers out there chomping at the teeth.
Well, I mean, the only thing of why I would want to wait a little longer is just where they allow open houses again. Because as you know, with yours, that's Severio captured the open house buyer who came in that week. I had some come in.
They're going to allow open houses, but when they allow open houses, then that's what everyone might be waiting for.
That is exactly what everybody's waiting for. So we got to do it ahead of that. That's like I said, that would be the only thing that I would like to do. But there's other ways of getting around it. We can do virtual open houses. Showing appointments are everything right now. But again, we got to also be within the right price, and we got to have the right photos to make sure that we can get the right type of activity and exposure, you know? So there's always ways that people try to save money, try to do it themselves, try to save on commission, try to do all these little things that ultimately hurt you because you're not getting the full exposure. We want some agent who's hungry out there trying to make a big commission coming in there with their best buyer, trying to put this deal together and give us the highest price that he can possibly get and walk away with the most amount of money, as you mentioned. The other good news is, and he's married, I take it? Is he married?
Yes.
Okay.
They're married, yeah.
Good. So he can exclude up to 500,000 on his personal residence, as you talked about as well. And all the costs and all that obviously isn't counted against him. So that's not part of his profit or his gain. You know what I mean? So, so just, yeah, just making sure that he's aware. And that's another thing. When people pay capital gains, they don't realize commissions, closing costs, title and escrow, all those, that isn't, you're not dinged for that. If anything, it actually helps you out because it's showing less profit there, so you're paying less in taxes.
I just figured that they dinged your ass for that shit too. I just figured they were just dinging you for everything.
No, you actually get to deduct that from
that's a lot of money.
Absolutely, that's huge. And people actually hurt themselves because they're trying to avoid paying commissions, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cut corners here, and it's like, no, you didn't cut corner, now you showed more gain. Now showing that more gain, you only had one buyer coming in where you could have had multiple buyers coming in, and you could have made more money and negotiated better on repairs and every other thing. So as you know, it's not just somebody just putting a sign out, or in this case, not putting a sign out, taking a listing, right? And being able to generate a offer. It's about making sure that you get the maximum exposure, and there's that sweet spot, just like what we had with Bridgeport. We had that sweet spot that we were still pushing on the higher side with those other two low comps, and we still got it. You know what I mean? And but it took some patience. It took a little bit of time. So as long as we don't knee-jerk react into anything, we're going to be fine. But the sooner the better, because once he has more competition, being that he's under 2,000 square feet, people are going to want more. You know what I mean? They're going to want a bigger house, especially if they're paying close to $1 million. Anything over 900K, that's where the expectation starts to be, because the buyers, they'll tell me, yeah, I want at least 2,000, or I want 2,100 or more square feet. And I'm looking up to $1 million. That's typically what they'll say. But if he's over the 1,700 mark, he should be hopefully close enough that he can still justify that value if the location's solid on a cul-de-sac. He's got a good sized lot, even though
it might be over 2,000 feet. I don't really know right now. I have to find that out.
Well, I'm gonna
be larger. You run this stuff, and then I'm gonna call him right now, let him know we talked.
Cool.
And then just like text me or something, like when you like send stuff over, and then
I will.
then I'll. And my brother may reach out and call you too. So
sounds good.
He's pretty proactive about this shit. Trust me. He's the guy that goes out when he goes to buy one car. He comes over with 3.
Sounds good. All right. All right, Russ. Well, hey, but more than anything, I appreciate you remembering and putting my name out there. And I appreciate that that trust, and just know, you know how I work, and I'm going to do everything to make sure that, I not only perform, but do it at the highest level. And if it all makes sense, great. If it doesn't, there's no harm, no loss. You know what I mean? We at least try, we give it a shot. And then if it doesn't happen now, hopefully it happens at some point in the future.
He's going to be moving at some time for sure.
Right.
And then for me, for sure, he's going to be moving. I'm saying eventually the hell out of here as soon as possible. He would like to.
Right.
So I figured I was like, now is the best time, because if the housing market crashes, you have a long time to wait to recoup that money. So you're going to be stuck here for a while, and then you may not want to be stuck here and not have the opportunity to really leave if you want to leave.
Right.
Will you do me a favor too and look for something for me?
Yeah.
Will you look in Mammoth for me?
Okay.
I had my brother looking, but I figured I'd have you look. But Mammoth, and I'm looking. Okay, I don't want to buy a property right now. Okay.
Okay.
But what I was looking at is that I got some stuff that basically, like a lease, a long-term lease. I'm talking about like a lease, like I don't know how they sign a year lease, 6-month lease. Granted, I really don't want to be there in the wintertime, but I just have a reason why I kind of want to get away from here. Okay? Just long story. I'll tell you later about it. Okay.
Sure.
But I need to get away out of this. We got to get out of this environment for other things. Okay.
Okay.
Not me, not D, other things.
Right.
Okay. And we need to take someone with us and get us out of this environment. So that was kind of a place where I was thinking. Okay.
Okay.
Because it's far enough away, it's a change of scenery, change of playground, change of everything, okay?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that was what I was thinking, and I was looking at, we need at least a 2-bedroom. I know there were some in like the 5s, and there were some in the 6s. Again, those are for buying houses. I know those houses. I looked 10 years ago. Those houses are not worth where they are right now. I know that for a fact.
Right.
So I don't want to buy the house, but I'm saying that even like this place called Sierra Park Villas, okay, they rent out things for like vacations, right? But they do have owners, and they have people that are not filling their houses or filling these condos.
Right.
So if you can do maybe some legwork on me on that one and see if you can find something up there, because I mean, right now we have to go through a program, okay? Once out of that thing, whatever that's gonna take, 30 days, 60 days, I don't know, 90 days, we'll see.
Right.
Okay, and then we're not coming back here, okay?
Okay.
That's just what I want. So I need your help on this one because it just sucks right now. It's okay. Okay. Because it's a lot better now because now everything's known. Let's just say, okay. Okay. A bunch of lies, and now we know everything. Okay. Okay. And so everything now, I can actually fix things because I can fix the truth. I can handle the truth. Right. Okay. And I can handle, and I know how to fix problems like this, and I know the change of scenery is what needs to be done, and that's the only way things are going to get fixed. Right. Okay, so that's why I was thinking, man, so I know there's not a lot of things up there right now because no one's really doing anything. But again, before the housing market crashes, I just want you to keep an eye on Mammoth for me because I do want to buy property in Mammoth, several properties in Mammoth. Okay. Like condos, I don't care. But for right now, time being, see if you can find me like a 6-month lease, long-term lease. I don't know how those are negotiated. I don't know what they do. If you do month to month? Because right now, how long do I know I want to be up there? I don't know. Right. But I don't want this house we're not selling here right now. We're not going to have anyone run into it either. Right. So it's just going to be here. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the thing. So see what you can do on that one, and I'll talk to my brother about his house. Okay. And then hopefully I'll get you to some of my damn brother's houses in Nevada. Okay. Because I'm telling you, those houses at 110, making $100,000 in 4 years, we'll be able to talk his ass into it, and hopefully you can talk his ass into it for me too. Explain to him how he can make money, and even you can run numbers and show him the difference between. They sit there and goes, I'm going to pay it off in 15 years. I only owe 11 more years. Right. And I said, yeah, but you understand the whole upfront is all like a shit ton of interest you're paying upfront. Right. The compounding factors of it. I said, you're looking at 3% or 3.75% whatever your rate's at, and you're sitting there going, okay, well, we're going to have to pay off. I go, no, but you can have it paid off so much faster if you had a 30-year investment. I said, well, we'll talk to him about that one too. Yep. Maybe we can lump something all together. I know you know all that shit. It's your expertise. So yeah. Well, there's you can call your loan guy or something, and he can run some numbers and go, what the fuck are you guys doing? Show him numbers on paper and then make some real stuff and say, I mean, right now is the best time to ever do this. And I was explaining, I'm like, this is what you need to do. So that's kind of why I really wanted to get you in touch because they have so many opportunities that I feel that they're just losing money and not taking advantage of what they should be just by poor advice. Right. And then, I can give him so much advice. Again, I'm his brother. Mm-hmm. And it is different when it comes from someone else. I mean, you know the industry. You're not going to sit there and go, right now is you see the crash. We talked about the crash that was supposed to happen, 7 to 9 years, and now we're on 12 to 13 going, and now, yeah, it's going to happen. Right. But again, it's like, you want to be on the right side of it. Yep. Absolutely. And that's why all I was trying to explain was we want to be on the right side of, just as the stock market, I think, is still going to crash, okay? And that's why I'm waiting for it to crash again. Right. It's going to, I'm telling you. Uh-huh. And I know better to have my money sitting in there and having a chance for it to be fucked. Right. So as right now, I don't have very much money in there. But when I do make a trade, do make a play, I'm playing that one, and I'm getting out very quickly on it. I'm talking about a week, 2 weeks max. Yes, could something go under? But I'm not investing my life savings. If I lost everything, I lost everything. But if I held that stock for 10 years, I guarantee you, I'll make my money. Don't worry. Yep. So. All right, well, you do your work. I'm gonna call my brother. Okay. And then we'll talk. Then just text me when you have some conference and you find some stuff out about the place and you've seen it a little bit, online. Yep. And then we'll set up a time for you to meet with him, and then we'll go from there. That sounds good, Russ. Thank you again, man. We'll be in touch. All right, bud. Sounds good. All right. Take care. All right. Bye. Bye. Wow. You stayed on, man. I was surprised. Figured you would have been asleep or checked out by now. You're muted.
I didn't hear the whole story, but
what's that?
I say I didn't hear the whole story. I realized when you talk about me and the property, I realized who you were talking to. Right. But it looks like he's going through some shit, huh? Yeah. No, definitely. He's always kind of been like that, though. I mean, he talks. He's got that ADD kind of personality. You know what I mean? Where it's just like bam, 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 then off to one, and then here, and then here, and takes a lot of just listening, acknowledging, kind of trying to follow along with it. But sometimes it's just like, all right, I wasn't ready for all that. But no, it was a good call. So he's trying to plug me in with his brother out in Thousand Oaks there. So nice. Yeah. So what's up, Silver? When you ready to come over, bro? What are you pussyfooting around for? I got you recorded right now too. I don't even care. Don't record it.
I don't even care. All right,